We are going to get started with Elizabeth, and she's going to walk us through My NASA data. And again, I'm going to be listening for her cues. So I'll be looking in the chat box, listening for her cues while she speaks. And with
Thank
that,
you.
I will introduce the award-winning member of the team, Elizabeth Joyner.
Oh, you're so kind. Well, thank you so much. And Jen, how much time do I have?
You know, let's see how it goes. About 20 minutes, we'll go for that. And
okay.
I know you have a lot of slides, so don't feel like you have to rush because I'm sure people will enjoy this.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And definitely let me know when time's running up. Hello, everyone. So I'm the point of contact for a program called My NASA Data at NASA Langley Research Center. But I'm joining you today from a beach cottage in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. So I'm excited about that. But let's go ahead and get started. Today's focus, we are going to try to highlight for you some ways that you can locate, access, and visualize Earth system science data using a tool that we have used for a long time with My NASA Data called the Earth System Data Explorer. And so next slide. So my goal in the next 20 minutes, which I realize that I'm not going to probably be able to do all of this, but I'm going to introduce you to My NASA Data, to this data visualization tool. I want to talk to you a little bit about opportunities for Globe student research projects using this tool. I want to boss Jen around and have her model for you using the Earth System Data Explorer if we have time, and I'm going to relish that opportunity there, Jen. And also highlight some additional resources that might be of interest to you. And then when you want to come back around to these resources, so for example, Nate, when you get back with your students, if you want to tag up with me, I would love to do it, and we can take deeper dives with you and your students as well. Next slide, and actually slide 4. So on slide 4, you might recognize some of these people here that are involved with the Globe program. I'm in the center. Since you can't see me, I'm at the top center. There I am with some other folks that, on the My NASA Data team. Next slide. We are proud partners of the Globe Mission Earth program out of the NASA Langley Research Center. Next slide. This is a slide of the landing page for My NASA Data. And if many of you guys if you're familiar with My NASA Data, we have been around since 2004. Our website has looked very different over the course of the years, and we have expanded our collections. We have grown from really focusing just on the atmosphere resources and data to also highlighting NASA data related to the biosphere, cryosphere, geosphere for you Globies. That also includes not only the pedosphere, but also the lithosphere. We include the hydrosphere as well as looking at Earth as a system. And then the next tab is visualized data. And this is where you're going to be able to access many of the resources that I'm talking about today. And then finally, the resources tab is kind of our catch-all for teacher resources. Next slide. On the left of this slide, you will see some of the big topic areas of NASA Earth System Science. And so what we try to do is we try to translate these resources into looking at next generation science standards and key topics that are within those standards. We try to build collections of materials that NASA has created, as well as data products, to help support deeper dives into those topics or phenomena. Next slide, actually 2 slides. Our target user group is really the Earth science educators, so we're including formal and informal in that. And I will say, when you look at, and really the Earth science piece is more open. Because we highlight the biosphere resources, this does branch out into your typical biology classes, as well as into physical science classes. So if you teach those content areas, we likely have something for you. And we also build in and serve our user group, which is the greater Globe community. We have, let me step back in time. Before our, since 2004, we kind of said, you know, wherever you are category, we have something for you. But over the last few years, we have really taken a hard look at ourselves and what we have to offer, and we feel like we're really best aligned with the needs of grades 3 through 12. But I will say with this caveat, the product that Jen's going to show you today on her screen is really useful for, in my mind, it's probably most developmentally appropriate for middle school and high school. But with that being said, I have mentored students in 4th and 5th grade and had them pulling data from our Earth System Data Explorer tool. So it can be done, and it can be done on Chromebooks and iPads, and some other time I'd be happy to share that experience with you. So in terms of grades 3 through 12, we do really concentrate on Earth systems and Earth and human activity. We support learning among all the cross-cutting concepts, but we really pride ourselves with supporting teachers and students in developing and using models, analyzing and interpreting data, as well as using mathematics and computational thinking. And so next slide, 2 slides down. On slide 12, this provides some screenshots of the Earth System Data Explorer user interface. And a couple of things I wanted to bring your attention to. We offer 3 primary data visualization types. We offer data visualization from a mapped image perspective, so taking and looking at NASA satellite data from that big picture view, which that big picture map view can also be scaled down to a regional view of your community. We can also help you very quickly generate time series or line plots, as well as you can access these data by downloading them as a CSV file, and then you can put them, incorporate them into your spreadsheet software for further analysis. Next slide. I want to show you at the beginning here that we have tutorials available for you. We have a playlist on YouTube. We have our own channel. We also have PDFs of different tutorials, whether you're interested in making animations, which can be done. If you're a Google Earth user, you can export our products into your Google Earth file. We also have the ability to, let's see here, we have some instructions for you to use, whether it be Excel or Google Sheets. So we have those guides that are very user-friendly, lots of screenshots. So if you are working in this virtual environment, we've got resources for you to use and provide to your students. Next slide. So at this time, what I want to do, actually, you know what, Jen, I don't think we're going to have much time to model this. So I'm going to show you some screenshots here. So with the Earth System Data Explorer, I want you would click on this Visualize Data button, and here's what you would see. We are divided again by the spheres of the Earth system: atmosphere, biosphere, cryosphere, geosphere, and hydrosphere. And it has a menu where you can click on the plus button next to each sphere, and it'll drop down for you a list of different data sets. And so you can either search by the all data. So in the orange box, you'll see that it says all data. Under atmosphere, we have aerosol data. So if you're part of Margaret's air quality campaign, we've got data for you. Let's see, we have atmospheric chemistry data. So we now have daily NO2 data. So for those of you your students who will likely be interested in the whole COVID piece and the effects on the Earth system, we have data to support that. We have different urban heat island data, cloud data. But another way to find these are by looking for data sets that support a featured phenomena that we have rolled out in terms of our collections, which I showed you earlier. Next slide. So what's new with these Earth System Data Explorer collections? I want to mention we have some changes that are on the near horizon or have already been implemented. We are looking to add daily AOT data for aerosols. I mentioned the NO2 data, so we have daily and monthly NO2 data, as well as CO2 and ozone and a lot of different other data sets regarding atmospheric chemistry. We now have, this is really neat and new, we now have daily and monthly average cloud cover for high, middle, low, and total. So those daily satellite data are now available. We also have cloud property data as well. Looking down here, we also are featuring daily amount and monthly rate precipitation data from NASA's GPM mission. We also, new here, we have biome classification, so land cover. So if you are mosquito mappers, please check out our biome classification and land cover data. We are featuring yearly averages that are from 2001 to 2018. So you're able to see how that land cover has changed over the years. We also now are featuring coral data, and we have some other products that are of interest to you biosphere folks. And we do try to include some socioeconomic data. And I'm going to move ahead. So I wanted to mention we do have on slide 18, we have globe connections. Next slide. I wanted to show you. So if you're a globe teacher or a globe informal educator, and you really want to level up your practice and connecting it with NASA missions, we have a section under each of the spheres of the Earth system that is called Globe Connections. And one of the pages that my dear colleague Angie Rizzi has created for us is a page called it's called Globe Protocols and Related Earth System Data Explorer Dataset. So she has done the hard work for us in connecting those globe protocols with the data sets that we have available on the Earth System Data Explorer. Next slide. I wanted to mention to you that NASA has a variety of different data visualization opportunities. We're just one of many, but I want to point out that you really need to understand what you're looking for before you jump into the Earth System Data Explorer. It's helpful if you already have your topic or issue or problem already identified, and there are resources like Earth Observatory that can help you with that. But once you know the topic and you're ready to engage and explore and look for variation and start your data analysis and interpretation, we are the only, that I'm aware of, the only NASA Earth Science data visualization product that is made for teachers and students to use. Next slide. I'm running out of time. So I wanted to take an example of a globe project. This came out of Providence, out of the youth group. Here is a project that students had and they reported on. I just wanted to show you, for example, opportunities to use the Earth System Data Explorer to, number one, engage students in the data, maybe even before they start their investigation. And so I've included driving questions here that could be asked and pursued using this tool. Certainly using the tool while the students are doing their globe work, and then even afterwards. What other variables could be related to this event that I'm researching?
Elizabeth,
and then I know my, yeah.
No, you can slow down. We're all good.
We're good? Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot
you.
of questions and people really want to hear about this, so I think take all the time.
Okay. All right. Do you want to stay on any particular slide, or shall I move forward and then we catch up on the questions?
Let's move forward and then we can catch up on the questions, because a lot of them are about, you know, wanting to see things in more detail. So I think that we're not
okay. Okay, that sounds good. All right, so I wanted to show you some supporting resources. So I'm moving on to slide 23. Many of you guys might already be aware of these data literacy cubes. These are something that we've created over the course of the last 3 years. Started with Margaret Pippin and her frustration with students and interns like not taking deeper dives into their data. And I know as a former teacher, I also had the same problem. So I worked with Angie Rizzi, and we've really tested these out in a variety of venues and with different teachers. But we have resources here. You can use plain old gaming dice. So go to the dollar store, but back when we're like in a face-to-face environment, feel free to, you don't have to print off and cut out these cubes. However, they're available for you if you want. But the cubes are there to help students guide their data analysis work for those mapped images, like those pretty satellite images, or that one that I showed you. Also, time series plots. We have another cube and set of questions just for those. And then for your data tables. So the Globies, your teachers, when your kids are collecting their own data, consider using the data cube, and it helps those students take deeper dives into looking for patterns and trends in their data. Also, I want, based on user feedback from the WestEd and UC Berkeley group, I had one teacher, she said that she teaches in an ESL classroom, and at that time I only had one set of questions for each cube. And she said, Elizabeth, I'm going to have to rework these questions because my students don't have the language to be able to achieve the or do the tasks as written. So Angie, when she came on board, fresh from the classroom, she helped us create a beginner version, an intermediate, an advanced, and an ELL version for each of those data cubes. So I wanted to say, if you can see on the screen, each of those images has an A, B, C, and D. So they have a letter in a black circle down on the bottom left that indicates which of the question sheets it is. And then in the packet on MyNASA data, we also have the unlabeled versions. We got feedback from an AGU teacher who said, Elizabeth, my kids are so quick to compare themselves to others, and they'll notice that one has a B and the other one has a C. Can you please provide ones that do not have the label on them? So those are available to you. We welcome your feedback. We're hoping to continue making other ones. So for example, histograms and bar charts and things like that. I also would be remiss if I don't roll out for you guys our featured story maps. Since we have taken this featured phenomena approach to our collections with MyNASA data, we have a great GIS person named Desiree Wilson who has created story maps for us, using in a very seamless way, incorporating these NASA data and helping us communicate a story. And these are written in the 5E learning cycle. We have student sheets that go with them. We have teacher answer keys for these. And so the one that is that has a yellow star, we have included a globe data within this one on Earth and Heat Island. We feature a globe school, so we start from a very local perspective and we branch out to a more regional view. Okay, so I'm not too bad for time. I want to provide you my email here, and I also want to encourage you to join us. I am working with a data literacy expert named Kristen Hunter-Thompson, and we will be presenting, it's just for an hour, but it's on data literacy within the earth sciences. And look for us in the NASA STEM Express newsletter, but we're going to be offering a session, a webinar on July 9th. And so that's it for me.
So we'll make sure we get that out through our network too. So all the people here, we can make sure we inform everybody about that particular webinar. So look for that email. One of the slides that you had kind of didn't think you had time for, and people, Dave Bedlowski asked about, is in particular the globe connections one. So I know that we wanted to kind of think about demoing, but also maybe looking at this. But Elizabeth, slide 18.
Okay, slide 18. Let's take a look at that one. Okay.
I think that's
all right. So
sort of skipped over, so I think that's worth it to kind of talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So yes, absolutely. So thank you. My NASA Data, we have tried to offer a variety of different resources and ways to use our products. We offer lesson plans and mini lessons and activities and the data cubes and story maps, which is that instructional piece, instructional resources. Then we have our Earth System Data Explorer, which is that data access and visualization. We also have STEM Career Connections, where we feature folks who support Earth science missions at NASA that have jobs or careers within science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. NASA does a great job in telling the stories of scientists and engineers. However, we don't do as great a job as highlighting the, let's say, the mathematical modelers or the visualizers or the GIS professionals and people like that. So we do include a variety of profiles and job descriptions and what those job descriptions require in terms of education and anticipated salary ranges and things like that. With the Globe Connections, Angie has pulled together a great summary of how My NASA Data can support different Globe protocols, and we connect with learning activities. We also feature different elementary Globe activities and books. And we try to, we also try to provide you with enough resources so to support student research projects. And then obviously we offer professional development like what we're doing here in this setting, but we also work with different districts and teachers and students. Are there any other questions?
Yes, sorry. I hope you have teaching included as a possible career path, or maybe add that one as a suggestion. That's what Janelle says. Let's see. Teachers are the keystone species of the STEM ecosystem. Let's see. Yeah. Slide 19 is the Globe Connections. Would it be worth it for us to maybe go online to share that one? Would that work?
You bet. That would be great. Let's take a, would you mind opening the link for the My NASA Data website?
This is where it's going to be fun.
All right, so it was the second link in that first slide.
Yes. In
the annotated notes. And it'll take you to that pretty sphere page with the slots of the Earth system. Okay. Let's take a look at atmosphere. And so if you were to just put your cursor over atmosphere and then scroll over to Globe Connections and click on that.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So we have, this is going to feature, it's a bit of a kitchen sink approach to the many and various ways that we connect and support Globe users. So we have, if you were to scroll down and you see the sliding pictures and images, but keep scrolling down. There is a Globe Atmosphere overview, but I think what's most of interest is probably the second bullet or the second resource. This is Globe Atmosphere Protocols and Related Data Sets. So go ahead and click on that.
Okay.
Okay, and so if you scroll down, you will see different variables of the Earth system. We start with aerosols, air temperature. These list and directly link to those particular data sets within the Earth System Data Explorer. So, for example, if you're using Globe this coming year with your students and they're going to do an urban heat island project, you might think about having them analyze how, for example, how air temperature maybe changes over the season. So go ahead and don't be afraid to have them take deeper dives into the data and start generating questions that might be of interest to them. So this is in particular is a really great resource. I did notice today, however, that I have not updated it with our new daily data sets. So I have put that in the queue. So we'll be working on that this coming week. But I wanted to show you that. And another thing that might be worth mentioning Jen, do you mind going to the right at the top, very top of the web page, and go to and just put your cursor over the visualize data? And third down on the left is, it says all ESDE data resources. No, I'm sorry, excuse me. Sorry, data collections, Earth System Data Explorer. It's the fourth link down. If you click on that. Data collections page.
Okay, got it.
Okay, sorry about that. You will see if you scroll down a bit, we have all of our data collections and their temporal scales that we have available for each of the spheres. So you can see here what we have available to for data access. So for you to download the data, let's say for your latitude and longitude, you can find these data for your location and compare them over time or space. So we do have more atmospheric data, but that's simply from our relationship, I believe, with the Atmospheric Science Data Center out at NASA Langley Research Center. So, but we are working on those biosphere and cryosphere, geosphere and hydrosphere resources as well.
Nice. All right. Let's see. You want to click on one, Janelle? Okay. Do you have a suggestion on which one we should click on, Elizabeth?
Well, let's take a look at, go to clouds, and instead of the daily cloud cover, let's take a look at the monthly, just so it loads a little quicker. So if you go to atmosphere, clouds, cloud cover, and then let's take a look, for example, at the monthly total cloud coverage, which is at the bottom of that list.
Monthly total cloud coverage, under total cloud coverage. Is that correct?
That's it.
And from March 2000 to May 2019.
Okay, that works.
Okay. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so I don't know if you could see the annotations window with the description of what the variable is and the units within that it's measured or reported. Do you see those annotations, Jen, at the top of the plot?
So we're at the Earth System Data Explorer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Is it showing a plot or is it showing a map?
It's showing a map, and then it has that box that you told me to X out of before.
Okay, perfect. If you will do, okay, so just point out the annotations there they are written in layman's terms. You can turn those on and off so students can learn a little bit about the units or the variable themselves. And so you can customize this tool if you have your latitude and longitude in decimal degrees.